Hi, my name is Robert Shelley, and I'm an attorney with Shelley Law and the founder of Out of Residency. And I assist physicians coming out of training with their first employment contracts. Today I'm going to talk about whether a medical resident is considered a student or an employee, and then why it matters. So first, when you come out of med school, you have your first internship year, then you transition into residency. You will get paid a salary, albeit a small one. And many residents are uncertain, the tax classification once they enter residency and fellowship. So let's discuss that today. So there was a Supreme Court case in 2011 called Mayo Foundation versus United States. And essentially in that case, the Supreme Court found that medical residents are employees and not students. Therefore, their salary will have taxes taken out of it. So FICA, which includes Social Security and Medicare. Now, as most of you who are watching this video are probably either a resident or a fellow, you understand that you're usually working 50 to 80 hours a week. And your base compensation is not commensurate with the amount of time that you spend working. And so any amount of money that can be saved is important. But unfortunately, at this point, and I doubt it will change anytime in the future, the FICA taxes will be taken out of your salary. So let's talk about kind of the different classifications in employment and then why it matters to the physician. So when you are working, you are either an employee or an independent contractor. And so when you get out of training, you'll have a decision to make as far as if you're going to pursue a job with one or the other. So let's talk about the benefits of both. So as an employee, taxes are taken out of it, but you're going to receive the benefit of having a lot of ancillary things provided to you. So as an employee, you're going to have health, vision, dental, disability, life. They're going to pay for your underlying premium for your malpractice insurance. They're going to provide you with potential productivity incentives, moving expenses, signing bonus. When you're an independent contractor, generally you won't get any of those things. There are a few independent contractor jobs where they will pay the underlying premium for your malpractice insurance, but everything else will be on you. So as an independent contractor, you'll get paid an amount. No FICA taxes will be taken out of it. You will not get any health benefits. They're not going to pay for your dues and fees. So your, board, DEA, credentialing, privileging, it's all going to be on the physician. Now, why would you do one over the other? Well, ideally, the independent contractor relationship allows some more flexibility than being an employee, meaning you can work for multiple organizations as an independent contractor. Whereas as an employee, almost every employment contract is going to have something. It'll either be called exclusivity or outside activities, and the employer will essentially have veto power if you want to work for another organization while you're employed with them. Most of the time, organizations are fine with moonlighting, locums work, as long as it doesn't interfere with your day-to-day activities for that employer. If I had to say what is better, anyone coming out of training is very unlikely to enter into multiple independent contractor relationships. You just don't have the network built up at the time when you're coming out of training. And so I would say probably 9 out of 10 people enter into employment where you're classified as an employee. There are a few specialties I find that are more likely to only offer independent contractor opportunities. So anesthesia, dermatology, for whatever reason, both use independent contractor agreements much more liberally than any other position. Now, if you're working for a hospital network, you're always going to be an employee. You're not going to work as an independent contractor. The only time you'd work as an independent contractor, or maybe a better way of saying that is, the organizations that offer these are usually smaller physician-owned groups, maybe between like 2 to 8 physicians. And in that scenario, they may offer it. So you have to weigh, do you want the security of having all of those benefits versus maybe the flexibility of being an independent contractor where you can kind of get in and out of the contract, meaning The notice requirement to get out of it will be less. And then, as I said before, you can work for multiple, organizations at the same time. Now, one other consideration is restrictive covenants. So non-compete, non-solicit. Almost any employment contract for a physician is going to have a non-competition clause. If you're not in a state where they're prohibited, there's I think there's 4 or 5 states where non-competes are completely prohibited, like they're just illegal. However, the obvious vast majority of states do allow non-competition clauses. You should not accept an independent contractor agreement with a non-competition clause. They are enforceable if you sign it, but kind of the nature of the independent contractor agreement is it allows you to kind of move jobs quickly, and a non-compete could really stop you from doing that and could become a problem in the future. Another consideration is the malpractice insurance. Many independent contractor agreements will specify that the physician has to pay for their own coverage. That also means you'll be able to choose what type of coverage you want, either occurrence or claims-made coverage. I would suggest in most independent contractor relationships, if you have the choice, occurrence-based coverage is the way to go. With the claims-made policy, you need tail insurance. With occurrence-based policy, you do not. Occurrence-based coverage is about 1/3 more expensive. But I find most independent contractor relationships are on the shorter side, maybe, could be less than a year, but it's not normally a long-term relationship. And in that scenario, just doing the math, you come out ahead even if you are paying 1/3 more per year. So I know I kind of went off on a little tangent. I mean, there's not that much to talk about as far as whether a resident is an employee or a student. They are classified as an employee, and so you will have FICA taxes taken out of it. But it's also kind of a good transition into thinking about the different types of employment relationships you're going to have to deal with when you come out of training. If you have any questions about an employment contract or independent contractor agreement, feel free to contact my law firm at the phone number listed below in the description. You can reach us through our website, which is listed below as well. We have a ton of videos on various topics for residents and fellows, so I suggest you search around the channel. We might have already answered a question that you have. Appreciate you watching the video. Thanks.